This week on Angelo's Motorcycle, I've got the 450 SS here, or 450 SR, depending on where you live. I've got a couple of little goodies that we're going to put on, including these little plugs for the holes in the frame, as well as lever protectors, and I've got a screen protector to protect that beautiful TFT screen. Let's get to work. So if you're like me, you've noticed that, wow, there's this big hole on the side of the bike. The 700 CLX has a very similar hole in the frame, and it has a black plug in it. Well, for a very inexpensive price, I think these were $6, I got these anodized blue aluminum plugs. And this might just be the simplest thing that you've ever put on a motorcycle. And it literally just slides in and locks in place with those O-rings. It fits quite well. I've actually already ridden it with them on, and they don't come out or anything. But then, and you can rotate them if you need to get them wherever, if you want these little grooves to be level or in line with the frame, or vertical up and down. I wanted them horizontal, so that's the way I put it. And wow, it's done. And boy, it really dresses up the motorcycle because there's no blue in here. You've got blue in the frame here, you've got blue in the frame there, and blue up here on the gas tank. But there's no blue really here, and it really ties it all in and looks really great in my opinion. And that was a 32nd edition. Off camera, I did change the spools on this machine. I now have blue anodized aluminum spools. My only minor complaint with those is that the CFMOTO logo is next to impossible to get horizontal because this screws in. So in order to get this to be tight at the same time as that is horizontal is a bit of a trick, and one that I was not able to master. But I'm not too overly concerned with the CFMOTO logo being level. I'm more excited about having a anodized blue aluminum spool that ties in the wheel decals as well as the other blue accents on the bike. So that is that quick update. Let's move on to the next item. I have here these lever protectors that I got off of AliExpress for something along the lines of, I want to say $16. And I have done a small amount of assembly. I have just put this little piece on here that goes here. And this is the way it comes, pretty much. So the hardware, I also want to note there were two little round black things in the package, just thrown in the package with the levers, and I wasn't sure what they were. They actually ended up being aluminum air caps for the motorcycle. They just threw them in the box. And I'm sitting there for 10 minutes trying to figure out how this aluminum air cap works into this deal. And then I realized, this looks a lot like a valve cap, a valve stem cap. And sure enough, so now I have little black aluminum valve stem caps on the 450 SS. They're quite nice. They were just in the package. So if you get yours, levers like this, and you find these two little black round things that look like air caps, that is in fact what they are. The only hardware that this comes with is it comes with this hardware. These two round metal discs that expand when you tighten this in. So this would expand against the inside of the handlebar. What that tells me is that and this is made for the 450 SR, okay, according to the AliExpress. So what that tells me is that this is made to take off the bar end weights. And I will tell you right now, taking off the bar end weights is very, very bad, right? Motorcycle bar end weights, first of all, any part on this motorcycle, right, is necessary, or else they wouldn't put it on here. They would save money, right? They wouldn't manufacture this. Bar end weights, they're not here to look pretty. They're quite heavy. When you take them off, they're quite hefty. They add stability to the motorcycle and avoid things like what they call death wobble, where at high speeds the motorcycle will have a tendency to gyrate. You are controlling a gyroscope. The front wheel is basically a gyroscope, right? That's why press to initiate lean works. And MSF, that's what we teach, and how you corner. You look right, you press right, and the motorcycle goes right. It's a magical miracle. But the bar end weights help keep all of that under control. So do not take off your bar end weights. Instead, all we need to do is take this off. and take this out and don't use it. And then off of Amazon, quite handily, off of Amazon I have these little guys. This is M6 by 80 millimeter socket head cap screws. There were 10 of them. I think they were approximately $10. The bolt size is an M6 by 1.0. So M6 is how big it is, right? And then the 1.0 is how many threads there are. And then 80 millimeter is the length. So you'll notice this one is substantially longer. It's also substantially longer than the factory one. Because what I'm going to do is I'm going to retain the factory mounting, keep the bar end weight, and just put this right there. It will fit very nicely, and it will stay. So all we have to do, this is a very simple install, very simple install. All we have to do is take this off, right? Now don't take this all the way out, because there's a metal rod thing in here. And if you take it all the way out, it will fall off, right? So what happens is as you tighten this, this squishes this rubber and it expands and squeezes against the grip. And that's what holds this in. And if you feel this, you will know what I mean about why this is here. It is heavy. It's like, wow, this is very heavy. So all I'm going to do is now that this is out, I'm going to remove the factory bar end weight cap screw. And we needed a longer one because we're going to add something. See, that's the stock one right there. And this is the one that I have purchased right here. So now this is going to go through here like so. Then through the bar end weight, through the rubber expansion, and then into the metal. I don't know what you would call it. It's almost like a bolt, but so there it is. Now this is ready for install, and I will have added the handlebar lever protector, which I mean, this is just aluminum. I don't think it would really protect that lever in the event of an incident. I think it would just bend and break. But it is really cool looking, which is why I bought it. And then you just, that's it. You put that in there. We get our handy dandy Allen wrench. We put this in like this. And now we just tighten it up. And you're going to want to make it good and tight, because you don't want this to move easily. If it moves a little, it doesn't really matter, but you don't want it to go whipping in the wind. And there, that's good and firm. And I line this up with the lever right there. And that looks great. A nice improvement for $16. I think it was about $16. And just a slight modification. Get a longer bolt. And now I will take these bolts, the stock bolts, and I will put them aside. In fact, I already have the other one. I did the other side already. I already have this labeled, 450 SS original bar end weight screws, and then I will just put another little piece of blue tape over this. And then stick this in a drawer, and then next year, when you get the SSR, or whatever they end up calling the single-sided swing arm variant, which, by the way, is my plan. As soon as that baby gets here to the States, I'm going to bring this down and give it back to the dealer and get the single-sided swing arm variant. I can transfer these over, because I now know where my original screws are. And if it happens to be the same color, which I don't know, I could take that tail section off because I kept the hardware for that too. I could transfer my accessories if I so choose. Because I keep the original hardware, the motorcycle can be restored back to original. Also, if you do end up selling it, it's nice to be able to say to the new owner, hey, here, I have the original hardware, so you could restore it to factory original if you choose. That demonstrates that you love your machine. And everybody, if you're selling a used machine, everybody wants to buy a used machine that's been loved. Right? Because they know it's been well maintained, it's been taken care of, it's been ridden nicely, and that adds value to the machine. So there you have it. The lever protectors are installed. Another excellent accessory for the 450SS from AliExpress. I'm really a big fan of the lever protectors. I don't think they would actually provide much in the way of protection, but they do look great. And the slight modification in keeping the bar end weights, I highly recommend that. taking the bar end weights off is not a good idea. These were $12.26, plus tax and whatever else, for $13.12 total off of AliExpress. You can't beat that. So for my next thing, I have these right here, which I paid $4.77 for 3 of them. So I have 3 of these screen protectors that are for the beautiful TFT, and it comes with all of the install stuff. And I just dropped that one on the ground, which is marvelous because now it is statically charged. So now it has attracted all kinds of dirt. So we have all kinds of steps here. There is professional LCD screen protector film installation auxiliary tools. Yes, I have some installation auxiliary tools myself. I have this this bottle of, see, it says soapy H2O, and I have this microfiber. So I'm just going to spray a little bit of, and this is a brand new microfiber. Use a brand new microfiber when you do this. You'll be glad you did. So I am just hitting this with the soapy H2O to clean it, because we want to protect this big beautiful TFT display from anything that might hit it, a stone or something along those lines. There, that looks pretty good. I don't see much in the way of lint on there, except for right there. Every time I wipe it after I'm done, I see something. Well, it's never going to be perfect. So there's always going to be one piece of lint, guys. It's just the way it is, especially in a dusty garage. All you can do is get it as good as you can. And I got 3 tries, because I got 3 of these for $4.77. And if that really doesn't work, the $4.77 worth, I can get another $4.77 worth. So now they suggest the wet method. I'm going to open up this bag and see what's in here. Let's see what we have in here. We have a few things. We have a little cleaning cloth. We have an anti-static agent. Well, that's interesting. And then we have a sticker. I'm all about the anti-static agent. Let's give that a try. Is this wet? Yeah, kinda. Alright, so let's apply the anti-static agent. The anti-static agent smells a lot like rubbing alcohol, with a little twist. It has a sweet smell to it. I don't know what that is, but it's an anti-static agent. And then we have this little cloth here that we will use to dry the anti-static agent. Hey, that looks pretty good. Looks better than my microfiber did. Alright, sold. So now they have you use the wet method, and I agree with that. I think that that's the best way to apply these things. So I'm just going to give it a little squirt, and then you can take the protector film and just put it on, and then that enables you to move it into place where you want it, and then basically you squeegee out the water and go from there. Now this it's not going unnoticed by me that this doesn't really fit. It is a little bit off. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to keep squeegeeing. And then eventually we're going to have to figure out how to make this fit a little bit better than it is right now. There we go. That looks pretty good. with the exception of this top not fitting and the bottom not fitting. The bottom hangs off and the top hangs off. So, I am not done yet. I'm not beaten yet. So, let's let this dry for a bit. And once this dries, we'll see if I can push that on. If I can push that on, I see what they're trying to do. They're trying to protect this edge of the TFT because there's an edge up here. I get that. There is definitely a benefit to protecting that edge. But I'm just going to have to wait for the moisture to dry in between these layers so that I can then attempt to stick this, because I think that once it's dry I'll be able to stick that. Yeah, see, it's already starting to stick, and it's not even near dry yet. So let's let that cure for a little while, and then we'll come back and we'll see what happens if I can get it to dry up a whole bunch, and then maybe stick that on there. So stay tuned for more. I have this most of the way installed now after letting it cure for a little while, and I've got the top on real nice, and this whole section is on really nice, and I've discovered, my friends, that the secret is heat. You hit it with a heat gun, but don't go too crazy with the heat because you'll melt stuff that you don't want to melt. So what I'm doing is I'm just coming in from the bottom here because obviously water seeks the lowest spot, right? And now I have a huge air bubble in there. We're going to give the heat gun a break. I'm going to come in here and I'm going to push this air bubble. This bottom part does not want to stick because it is still wet. There we go. It's starting to stick now. And I'm willing to bet it'll come loose at least 2 or 3 more times. But this, you know, for $4.77, and you get 3 tries, this product is actually cut to fit this perfectly. I'm very impressed with how well it fits. I mean, they even covered the concave edge. I mean, come on, that's attention to detail. And this came off of LED. You see, I'm still getting the water out of there. That's why it's not sticking quite yet. But the heat gun is doing a good job. And I'm using my fingers as opposed to that rubber squeegee because the rubber squeegee was moving this thing around too much. And this is very hot. So, not hot that you can't touch it, but you want to be careful with that heat gun. Don't go too crazy with the heat gun. Right, use a hair dryer. You'll be better off. I'm using an industrial grade heat gun that gets to 1,000 degrees. Actually, I don't know if it gets to 1,000 degrees, but it gets awfully hot. But it cured up that water, and you could probably get the same effect if you just let it sit overnight and then come in tomorrow and just start squeegeeing, and all the water would be most of the way gone, I think, if not all the way gone. You could just let it sit for a couple hours. I was just impatient because I'm filming and I want to get this done. So the heat gun worked very well. And I think the heat actually also softened up the edges of this so that it would go around that curve a little better, almost like a vinyl, like you're working with vinyl. But that looks ideal. Now I'm going to come in with the microfiber. And I'm going to do a little rubbing on it. That looks good to me. I can't even tell there's a protector on there. I don't see any air bubbles. The wet method works very well. So that's that. That looks good. Let's see how it looks when we turn the key. Let me find the key to this. Here we go. So, let's see what it looks like when we turn the key. Beautiful. Can't even tell there's a protector on there. That is thoroughly impressive. $4.77 on AliExpress. Wow. What a good deal. Looks good. And now my TFT is protected. I'm very impressed with the screen protector and how it fits. It's on there and good and dry now and looks fantastic. $9.63 with tax and shipping. And I got 3 of them, so I have spares. Thanks for watching Angelo's Motorcycle. Please don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Also, check me out on TikTok, Facebook, and Instagram, all as Angelo's Motorcycle. That's motorcycle without the R. And I look forward to seeing you all next week.